What's up, y'all? Coming back to you with another edition of Next Chapter Forward. Hope you guys are doing well. Want to make sure that all the sounds are okay because last time I did this, it was not good. The internet was not good at all. So I'm attaching my phone. Okay, looks pretty good. Attaching my phone. All right. So we're good. So today, guys, I want to talk to you about an incident I had. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday because I was going out to shoot some video. But first, let me say this. Black men in America report racial discrimination experiences at the rate of 57% in everyday situations. You're talking stores, restaurants, public spaces. I moved to Mexico to escape that math. And Sunday, that math found me anyway. Okay. So, guys, let me explain what went down here, where I had my first overt racist situation here in Playa del Carmen. I got a taste for one of my favorite foods, which is red snapper. And this particular place that I've been to at least 12 times. I've brought family, I've brought friends, I've gone by myself. It's a place that I really, really like. Now, it's a little pricey, but the food is worth it because up until this point, I'd received really good service. The people were cool. And, the previous 12 times, my dollars spent the same that other people's dollars spent. But for whatever reason, I walk up on Sunday. The place is, it's busy. And it's kind of open air, so it's not a closed situation. You just walk right in. It's open air. So I can see this busy, and I'm waiting to be seated. And I could feel a couple of people come behind me because they're waiting to be seated too. And I kind of glance, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see them, right? And so as I'm sitting here waiting, and it wasn't long. It was maybe, I was sitting there about 20, 30 seconds. There's a waiter, a guy that has waited on me previously, at least two or three times. He comes up, he looks at the people that are waiting behind me, and he says, "Table for two, right this way." And I was so taken back. I guess my jaw must hit the floor. And once I gathered myself and I just realized what happened, I walked into the restaurant. I'm approaching the guy. He pivots and beelines as fast as he can back to the kitchen, knowing that I'm not going to go in the kitchen. But there were two of his coworkers there. And I stood there for about 15, 20 seconds. It was very uncomfortable for them. The guy was like, "Oh, no, take a seat." I said, "No, that's not what this is about." I said, "They're just looking at me, and I'm looking at the kitchen." Because I was going to call this dude everything but a child of God. Because, guys, this is one of the reasons why I left the United States. I refuse to be treated like a second-class citizen where I spend my money. I spent thousands of dollars between me and the people that I brought in on my recommendation. We spent thousands of dollars in this location. And so for me to find myself in Mexico having to deal with the same things that we deal with back in the United States was very, very disappointing. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I went to that place in my mind, that PTSD, those, common occurrences, those feelings, the feeling of rejection, the feeling of not being worthy, of being a second-class citizen, all that stuff resurfaced. And I had to get out of the restaurant and walk. Because one of the techniques that I'm learning is that when I have this racial trauma resurface, I can't sit still and stay in my head. If I have the ability, I need to get up and walk to move that out. Okay. And so I was able to move it out. I walked over to the ocean because I was shooting some stuff on a video. And as I was walking over towards the ocean, the emotions started coming out. And I started to be like, oh, okay. I'm having a PTSD. I'm remembering the racial trauma, and all the different things start to wash back up. And so as I'm walking and I'm getting closer to the water, I asked the creator, I said, Creator, take this energy away from me and give it to the water. And I closed my eyes for a second, and I took a couple deep breaths, and it worked. Now, not all of us have access to an ocean, but most of us have access to nature. I think somewhere in nature, I think the nature does it. Okay. So in situations in the past, when I would have this situation, I'd curse that dude out. I'd threaten to kick his, you know what? I might say something to the manager at the restaurant. I might cuss the whole restaurant out. And you know what? I used to be like, man, you know what? You shouldn't be like that. Screw that. I'm not apologizing for that because I didn't make myself this way. I was born and raised in a situation that made me this way. I'm not apologizing for nothing. And I think the creator was with that waiter, because he spun and quickly walked to the kitchen. Because if he would have stopped at any table along the way, I would have let him have it. He knew he was wrong. He knew he was on some BS. And these people that want to get close to whiteness, they'll get burned. Trust me, they'll get burned. And so there was a commenter. I made a post on my YouTube community, and a commenter said, look, you know, you're in a tourist area. These people are about money, and they don't equate black with having money. They equate white with having money. And so, you know, he made some good points, but I'm still not apologizing for that because I didn't create myself to be this way. There are outside forces. And to think that black people need to, when they go low, we go high. I don't agree with that. Because we've been going high for so long that now we're getting, let me stay on point here, okay? The thing that I really want to say to you guys today, what happened Sunday wasn't one waiter's bad day. White supremacy doesn't stay in the United States when I left. It's exported itself around the globe in the business culture, in hospitality culture, who gets seated first, who gets seen. Guys, the world is anti-black. And for those free agents who have been a part of the Next Chapter Forward community, you've heard me say this. It has been since white supremacy has been the ruling doctrine of the planet. It's been like that probably since the Monroe Doctrine, if not earlier. Okay. So this is key. And I want you to listen to this. Listen to this very closely and comment how this makes you feel. I want to hear, men, how this makes you feel. Sunday reminded me that I'm not running from a country. I'm navigating a world. Let me repeat. Sunday reminded me that I'm not running from a country. I'm navigating a world. How does that make you feel when I say that? Put it in the comments. I'm really interested. Does that resonate with you? Okay. And here's what I also know, guys. Experiencing racism here in Mexico is still way easier than experiencing it every single day in the United States. Structurally, legally, financially, physically, it's all there in the United States. It does not exist here in Mexico like that. There is colorism. There is racism. There are people who want to get close to whiteness. We've seen almost every group do this. Okay. So me being in my honeymoon state of the last year being here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, because I'm getting sun. I have access to water. I have got a good group of black men that I'm associated with every single day. I have a purpose of next chapter forward, helping black men over 50 relocate out of the United States. I have what I need to have a fulfilled life here. And what happens is I was so happy to get the hell out of Dodge to escape from Alcatraz that I was overlooking some things. That wasn't the first time someone's been racist, had racist behavior towards me. I just shrugged it off because it wasn't as systemic. It wasn't as ingrained. It's just I've had one-off situations, and maybe 3. That one was the most overt. That one on Sunday was the most overt. But what I'm saying to you guys, I'm still here. I'm not making plans to leave. This is me realizing, again, that I'm not running from a country. I'm navigating a world that's anti-black. Okay, now, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Put in the comments. Let me see what you guys think. Okay. Guys, because let me see. Before I continue, let me see what you guys are talking about. Thank you for joining in, guys. Peace, Eld 8494. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Unfortunately, the United States has a long reach when it comes to spreading this kind of hatred against people of color, mainly of African descent, no matter how far. Yeah, and guys, I think it's white supremacy around the world. I think that's the ruling doctrine, so to speak. And I don't think that America does it the best, but America's not the only one that utilizes white supremacy as the ruling doctrine. Okay, they're not the only European group that does this. There's several others that do it, but of course, America's the best at it. Oh, wow. Christopher Torres. Okay. Disappointed, to be honest, in Puerto Rico. We have Black Ricans and DR are blacker than tar. This does not happen in my country. We'll never experience this. I wonder if you start speaking Spanish. I think I'm kind of understanding what you're saying. At this point, to be honest, in Puerto Rico. Okay, now my son lives in Puerto Rico. And he's a 6'7", beautiful black man that is multilingual. He's fluent in Spanish, Portuguese, obviously English. Was it German that he was studying? And French and Japanese. I'm sorry. So he lives in Puerto Rico. He's been there last 4.5 years, and he's fluent. And I need to broach that subject with him. But thank you for tuning in, Christopher. I appreciate this. Will they look at you different? Oh, you're saying if I were to speak Spanish or whatever. Christopher, that's a great question. But ironically, the waiter, when he saw these white people behind me, he assumed they spoke English. He didn't say it in Spanish. He assumed they spoke English. He knows I speak English because he's waited on me before. But that's interesting because here's the thing, Christopher, I didn't even have a chance to open my mouth. I'm standing at the entrance of the restaurant where, they have that small, what's the name for it? It's where people stand and they put their thing down and do a speech, a podium or something. Yeah, it's like a podium. And there's a podium there, but there's nobody there because everybody's kind of busy. So I didn't even have the opportunity to open my mouth. But I opened my mouth when he asked these people that were behind me to be seated. That's when I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Is it because you deserve peace and you have the authority to create your own destiny? Yes. Yeah. Guys, what is the name of this book? It details the Jewish community and culture. And what it said in this book, it said a lot of really interesting things around how the Jewish culture and Jewish families view money, and they view family and different things like that. But what this book stressed is that you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. You get what you demand. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you demand. Okay? And so you have the authority to create your own destiny. That's what I'm doing. I'm actively ILD 8494. I'm actively manifesting the life that I want to live. I chose to be here in Playa del Carmen. I choose to create this next chapter 4 community that's growing very nicely, I might add. Thank you to my free agents, you all out there. And so, yes, you're right. Okay. So, Christopher, put in the comments where you looking at going, and do you need assistance? Because if you do, I'm your guy. All right. Oh man, wait a minute. Oh man, Rashid James, bless you, brother. Thank you so much, man. This is this is wonderful. Do you think there's a country in this world that is good for competent black men seeking peace? I truly don't think Mexico is a great place for black men. Rashid, you may very well be right. Because I remember when I first came, thank you, Rashid. Thank you so much, brother. This is spot on. Not only because you gave to the cause, but your question is very, very accurate. I chose Mexico. I chose Playa del Carmen because I've been coming down here on vacation for years. I stopped going to other places because I liked Playa del Carmen so much. And so when my college basketball announcing season would be over, I'd be in Playa. During the Christmas break, I don't really celebrate Christmas. I don't stay in the States. I would go to Fort Lauderdale, but there was one year where the weather was really crappy down there. And my buddy who lives down there was telling me, man, you might want to choose somewhere else. I was always scared to leave the continental United States because I only had like a 4 or 5 day break between games that I called, and I don't mess with my money. I do not put my money in jeopardy. And so one year I came down to Cancun. I was nervous to do it. I didn't feel like coming all the way not coming all the way because it's only 45 minutes extra. But I just said, you know what, let's try Cancun this time. Had a blast. It was easy. I got in and out. No problem, right? And so when I had the airline situation where I got removed from the flight, I threatened to sue the airline. They gave me a settlement. When I had that happen, I knew I needed to get out of the United States. The best place I thought was Playa del Carmen. One, because my parents are in their mid to upper 80s and they're doing well, but I didn't want to go too far. Second, I had great connotation, like emotional connection, serious memories, the beach, the sun. Third, I met Michael Easterling. Michael Easterling is one of the brothers in our group here in Mexico, here in Playa del Carmen. And I met him on one of my vacation trips, and we stayed in touch, and he would plug me with different questions I would have. And so when that situation happened in early January, I still had to work the rest of the season until the beginning of April. But once I got free, I ran down here. Okay. Now, not thinking that, there might be some situations. Is there colorism in Mexico or racism in Mexico? Absolutely. But it's nothing like the United States. Look, if you go to any, I won't say any, but if you go to most European countries, you will expect, you should expect as a black man to receive some sort of colorism or racism. People around the world are brainwashed. If we were to tell them that we are the original people and that we're God's people, 90%, well, I won't say that because there is knowledge outside of the United States of who we are, of who we truly are. But there's a lot of people around the world that are brainwashed by white supremacy. And you think about it, fellas. I'm 58. You know how hard it was for me and my family to overcome the negative images, media, billboards, schooling, other people in the community. All of these people giving you negative feedback all your life. Negative feedback. You're black. What is it? If you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. Oh, I forgot. There was a hierarchy of color that was a saying in the black community. If you black, get back or step back. This is decades. This is a century worth of programming and propaganda that's gotten us to this point, guys. So, brother, but for competent, listen to what this brother said, man. Competent black men, right? Now, I don't know that Mexico would be any worse, really, Rashid, than any Latin American country. Because Latin America, I find, is more brainwashed than most parts of the world when it comes to black people. Maybe next to Africa. I know that shocks y'all. Go to Africa. If you haven't been to Africa, go to Africa and look. They're so. We see South African black people attacking other African people, attacking them. That's brainwashing, guys. That's self-hate. So, Rashid, I think Mexico is as good as any other place, maybe Panama, because we're in larger numbers. We're in large numbers in Colombia, but Colombia ain't all sweet down there either, right? We got big numbers in Brazil. Brazil is one of the most racist places in the world. I'm going there next week. My youngest son is already down there. We're not going to meet. He's in a different part of the country than I'm going to be in. But Brazil has more black people than anybody in the Western Hemisphere, including the United States. And they catch more hell than any black people on the planet. Okay? So Mexico, in terms of Latin America, is probably as good as anywhere else, Rashid, just to be honest. But brother, thank you very much for setting the example here. I appreciate you. Okay? All right, hold on. Let me get back to all right. So, guys, what are you going to do when this happens? Because here's the deal, guys. The restaurant in question is named El Pirata. It's the pirate in Spanish, El Pirata. It's known throughout this area as one of the best seafood restaurants in this area. They actually sell fresh fish. You can buy it and they will cook it free of charge. That's what I'm just having to give up. One of the best places in this area, right? The Red Snapper is still slamming whether I'm going to support them or not, right? The waiter's still going to work there. He ain't thinking about me, right? But I just want you to understand that, you know, you're not going to leave racism behind when you leave America. It's not happening. The math changes, though. The daily doses of it changes, okay? And when you're not drowning in it, I had to write this down. This is so powerful. And when you're not drowning in it every day, you have the capacity to handle it when it finds you. That's the difference. Let me say this again. I'm telling you, the math changes. Your daily dose of it changes. And when you're not drowning in it every day, you have the capacity to handle it when it finds you. That's the difference, guys. All right. If you're over 50 and you're tired, like me, not of one waiter, but of the system, drop free throw 15 in the comments and let's get on a free 15-minute phone call. Or go to my bio, get your global scouting report. It's 8 questions. It takes 2 minutes. It gives you a score of your readiness to relocate. I see I've hit a nerve with some of you brothers because some of y'all are already stating you trying to get the heck up out of Dodge. Okay. I would love to help you. If that interests you, type free throw 15 in the comments or go to my bio go get the link in my bio, get your global scouting report. They know we are God's jury, and that makes it justifiable to hate on us. I don't think that anything makes it justifiable to hate on us, to be, respectfully, L to 8494. We have to stop making excuses for people and their racism. There's no room for it, right? Now, it's incumbent upon us, and M. Namdi, thank you, brother. M. Namdi is a free agent. He's one of the first people that started supporting me on this movement of Next Chapter Forward. M. Namdi sent me a personal message, and he did exactly what a lot of Black people will do. He encouraged me to don't let them win. Don't let them get you off of your square. Don't let them take away your joy. And for Namdi, thank you, brother. I love you for that. I know that was meant out of love. So thank you for that. However, I am not the type of Black person. Guys, send me a message. Let me know that my internet is okay. I'm so spooked from last week's scenario that I just want to make sure. Am I coming through okay? Please, somebody let me know. Because I was mortified last week. Okay. Ooh, boy, I tell you what, L 8494 is cooking today, y'all. They would never allow us to be in peace. We create magic when we're able to build. Let's go, PG Bardo. Yeah, that's spot on. That is spot on right there. So with that in mind, right? And with a lot of Black people in America thinking that, we gotta go high when they go low. Now, if we were to take this as word as bond, they will never allow us to be in peace. We create magic when we're able to build. Guys, let's go back. The middle of the 1850s to 1900, or 1890, 1895, 40 years coming out of bondage. We were wearing them out, meaning we stayed segregated. We had our own schools. We had our own grocery stores. We had our own law offices. We had our own theaters. We were the most skilled group of people in the 1850s of anybody in the country. Y'all do recognize that, right? Because we did all the work. We're the masons, the carpenters, the electricians, the welders. We did all of that. So we took all those skills that we gave up for centuries for free, and in 40 years, guys, it's not like in 1850s, in the mid 1850s, when they abolished slavery, that all of a sudden they gave us some money to get started. They gave us direction. Oh, go here, don't go there. They didn't give us nothing. They just said, all right, you're free. We went from that to U.S. senators, U.S. congressmen. I believe Madam C.J. Walker, was it her or was it sister before her that his name is escaping me? There were black women that were multimillionaires. There were black men that were multimillionaires. But what I'm telling you, black women were multimillionaires from 1850 to 1890. So ELD 8494 knows what he's talking about. There were 117 race riots that took out majority black towns all over the United States in the early 1900s. This was around the time that Jack Johnson was kicking folks, you know what, and taking their women across state lines. The Mann Act that was created, Jack Johnson. Guys, this is 50 something years after we were released from bondage. Okay. So I so appreciate you bringing up this point because guys, let's play a scenario here. If we are to move on this statement right here, that they will never allow us to be in peace. What has happened since January 1st in the United States? There's been 6 black people that I've known of that have been unalived via hanging. There's been black people shot in the back, not shot in their face, shot in the back from trying to leave a situation. Right? I'm more like Rodney Hinton. Y'all remember Rodney Hinton? That gave me more pride than anything. That's who I am. Okay? So if we're going to move on this right here, and I have all the evidence that this is true, what are we going to do about it, black men? Because you can be in the next chapter 4 community and be in the United States. You don't have to relocate. But if we're all of the betterment of black people, that's the main goal of next chapter forward, is to first off, help black men over 50 relocate to the country of their dreams if they so desire. And in doing that, the rest of the black community can follow. We can lead, the rest of the black community can follow. Okay? But if you're going to decide to stay in the United States and you take this as word as bond, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Thank you, ELD8494. You cooking today, brother. You are cooking today. Oh, great point. Dreg Gallo 6774. Great point. Guys, there is no capitalism without racism. It's hand in hand. And I don't know, like I did a long form video, or maybe it was I was doing these shorts. I did a TikTok short, YouTube short that blew up. I was walking through, I was in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. This was in January. And I said, the one thing that you will see around the world when you travel, if you see black people and you see resources, you will find European colonizers. If you see an area of black people and natural resources, just what ELD8494 said, the European colonizer is not going to leave you alone. If you've got something of value and you're black, they think they're better than you. So they're coming to take it. They're coming to enforce their rule over you. Okay? So this is spot on. This is spot on. Well, this might be accurate. Yes, I think if you start learning Spanish and speaking Spanish in Mexico, they will look at you differently. Try and see. Christopher, I already speak Spanish. Most of the time when I encounter the Mexican locals, I speak Spanish. Now, if I get into some deeper conversations, I have to say "Cómo se dice," which means how do you say this? How do you cómo se dice? That's one of my favorite phrases because I'll get into a conversation. I can go about the second or third level. Once I get past the third level, I struggle because I don't know enough yet, but I'm learning, right? I speak Spanish all the time. If you were to come to where I live and the front and the workers and the front people in this large apartment complex that I live in, I break my back to speak Spanish to them. And most of them know English, but they appease me because they know and they respect the fact that I'm speaking Spanish. I speak Spanish every day. So I don't think that's it. No. I've experienced some situations. I was in a honeymoon state, Christopher, just to be honest. I was in a honeymoon state. There was a couple of situations that took place and I shrugged it off because I'm like, man, I ain't in America. Oh, that's somebody just having a bad day. No, it wasn't. They were racist. It's okay. It's okay. But no, it's an anti-black world, guys. Let's just be honest. Okay? And it is what it is, right? Black, step back, Jack. If you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. I think there was one in between brown and black. If you're black, step back, Jack. That's it. I love it. Ooh, Emmanuel hitting on something now. Even store owners of Asian descent in South Carolina are getting away with killing people. No, killing black people, not people of color, black people without justifiable cause. I'm having doubts about places in Southeast Asia to migrate to now. Emmanuel, oh man, you guys are so good today. You were bringing up such excellent points that I need to expound on this. Okay. Now, when you go to Southeast Asia, I've been to Malaysia. I played in Japan for 4 years. I've been someplace else. I can't remember. Wait a minute. Was in Malaysia. Played in Japan for 4 years. Traveled through Korea, but didn't spend a lot of time there. But what I've noticed with the Asians, especially because guys, Emmanuel, are you Black American? Because guys, people know you everywhere around the world. You don't have to open up your mouth. They can look at you and tell that you're American. Okay? You're going to get different treatment in Southeast Asia, especially in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia. In those regions, they'll spot you from a mile away. You're not going to get treated like an African, someone from Nigeria. Cambodia is kicking, all of the African people that live in Cambodia right now, they're kicking the Africans out. I haven't heard of any Black Americans being asked to leave. The country is asking Africans to leave. I don't know if you guys have heard this. So what everybody else in the world understands, Emmanuel, that we as Black Americans don't know, we're the richest Black people on the history of the planet. Black people from this dollar-based system that control the dollar is the dominant currency in the world, not for long, but it's holding on for dear life still. We are the richest. I don't know if this includes Mali with Mansa Musa, because he's the world's richest man. But I believe our collective wealth may even exceed what Mali had back in the 1400s in their great empires. We're the richest black people in the history of the planet. So every place you walk, black man, they see you. They know who you are, and they assume you're rich because you're in their country. How did you get to their country? You had to get on a flight. You're paying to stay somewhere. You're paying to eat somewhere. See, we don't think about these things as black Americans when we leave and go to other places, either to visit or to live. Okay? These people know who we are. They know us. They see you. Okay? So I wouldn't be afraid to migrate to Southeast Asia. I wouldn't be afraid to migrate to Mexico because, guys, 90% of the people that you're going to run into are warm and friendly. I found that here in Mexico. I found that to be the case in Southeast Asia. I found that to be the case in Africa, in Ghana, Senegal, and Nigeria. And I've been to Ghana twice. Okay? This has been the case around places that have black and brown people. That's the key. If these places are black and brown, 90% of the time, 95% of your exchanges with people will be genuine as long as you're genuine. They tend to match your energy. If you come with good energy, they're bringing it back. Okay? All right. The Europeans have a strong hold on South Africa, mainly because of Elon Musk, a South African. Well, I think it's more than Elon Musk, Emmanuel, based on the fact that it's their history. It's just been inbred in them. And with these black South Africans attacking these black Namibians, these black Zimbabweans, these black Nigerian and black Ghanaians, that's not originated from black people. That's originated from someone trying to keep us divided. So that whole South Africa thing, that's a unique situation because South Africa is one of the 10 countries that we advise black Americans to seek relocation to. All right. And so there were people who were upset with me when I kind of said, is it safe for black Americans to go to South Africa? Oh, people got hot at me. Right. Because they're on the ground. But from a person that's never been to South Africa, that's a black man that has been the target of racism and hatred the last thing I want to get is hatred from another black person, right? So I talked about that scenario. Oh man, these people lit me up. Oh, you can't be, you shouldn't do that. You can't say that. You don't know what you're talking about. Da da this, da da that. Okay, so be it. So be it. Let's see. Oh, what's up, David? Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're feeling better, brother. Good to see you. Let's see. Reynolds. They are giving Asians and Hispanic folks billions to undermine black people here. That's been the case. You're right, Reynolds. That's been the case. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Mexico is very racist, in my opinion, and Mexico's skin tone is highly accurate predictor of education level, income, and occupation. Okay. GZ, stay real. Okay. I don't disagree with you. But here, and let's see. Let me see how I can phrase this, guys, to make this make sense. There's racism all over the world against us and against other people. Like, we're not the only people that are, that someone is racist against. Black people we don't have that cornered, unfortunately. There are plenty of other groups of people that get discriminated against all the time. Maybe not to the level that we get, because I don't know that Mexican people or indigenous Taino people are, if they go to Europe, will they be treated like a black person? I don't know that. But what I will say is this. We have a special gift as black men, especially when we leave the United States. We have power as black men when we leave the United States, as long as you don't go to European countries. Okay, that's going to sound harsh. It's the truth. I've got facts to back it up. I played in Italy, Spain, France, and Germany, professional basketball. I've got boots on the ground experiences in those 4 countries. I know what I'm talking about, guys. Okay? When you're a black man and you step outside the United States, you will either be revered because the people know your history and the fact that you can still smile and walk around and have enough money to come to their country and act like you got some sense and still be the kings that you are, that you treat everybody with a level of respect, right? You'll either be revered, they're curious about you. You see this now. China, I would not advise black folks to migrate to China, but what you see in China a lot, and this happens a lot in Asia, where they're so curious because they don't come in contact with black people on a regular basis, right? So you're either revered, they're either curious, or they're either scared of you based on the narratives and the brainwashing that they've received. So you're going to fall into 3 categories, and 2 of them are positive. People being curious about us, that's fine, because they're not coming from a necessarily an aggressive manner in putting you down and making them feel better than putting you down so they can feel better than you, because their programming tells them to. Okay, so 2 out of the 3 scenarios that I've laid out for you are positive. They assume you're rich, and more than likely you are richer than the local people in that area. Okay, so we have to develop a different cheat code than everybody else that moves out of the United States. Black women have to have a different cheat code, right? They may not be viewed as dangerous as black men, because some people around the world view us as dangerous because of their conditioning. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why Next Chapter Forward is growing, because black men are starting to understand that we can have the best of both worlds. Honestly, there's a brother on YouTube that he's really big on YouTube. He went to Thailand, fellas, and he's moving. He's leaving the States. He's moving to Thailand. His mind is blown. He's been over there for 4 or 5 weeks, and he is putting up some powerful content. Mediocre, MKL, MTL, something like that. It's a 3-letter acronym. M is his first one. He does a really good job. He's a really good content creator. Thailand blew his mind, guys. It blew his mind. It was hard for him to believe how far the US dollar goes there. It's hard for him to believe how well he's being treated there. It's hard for him to believe that there are so many feminine women there. You know? And so he's having the experience that a lot of us can have when we take the US dollar, we play arbitrage with it in different parts of the world where black people have already had success. Okay? That's what we need to remember. All right. We got us a Caucasian brother on here, Donnie Mullins. What's up, Donnie? Good to see you from Dayton, Ohio. Home of the Ohio Players, baby. Y'all know the Ohio Players. one of the best album covers in the planet. That's when they used to do the threefold album covers, and they had that fine sister with that smothered with honey on it. Oh man, I can see that album cover like it was today. I'm telling you. Well, hey Donnie, welcome, man. Thanks for tuning in. While the majority of the population has darker skin, light-skinned Mexicans occupy this portion. Yeah, it's the same way in the United States. It's the same way in Canada. Well, not Canada. Canada's a little bit different. It's the same way in Great Britain. I don't know if no, that's not true either, because Great Britain now is quickly becoming a Muslim state. But it's like that in a lot of places. So, you know, and again, Mexico, like, bro, the Portuguese and the Spanish, they were nasty conquerors, nasty people, just brutal. And the conditioning and their use of religion, because religion here, guys, America's doesn't have a tenth of the religious fervor that Mexico does. This is a religious country. And how they've used Catholicism and colorism and racism and wrapped that in to a narrative that had these people twisted in the head is greater than a lot of places on the planet. So you're right. You're right, GZ. Conversely, a massive portion of the agriculture and domestic labor sectors is made up of dark-skinned or indigenous workers. Sound familiar, brothers in the States? Countries are different because they're different geographical locations. But like I said, in Santo Domingo, wherever you see black people or brown people and they have natural resources, there have been European colonizers that come over there and impose their doctrine on them, right? Again, think about this, guys. Every time that happened, when there was a European that came to a place like that, every single time the black or brown person welcomed them in, every single time they got duped. Every single time. And they started doing this 500 years ago. We're still falling for the okie doke. We're still going for that nonsense. We're still allowing our children to be gunned down. And we let the court system give out justice. I'll say it here, and I ain't afraid to say it. Somebody touch one of mine, you ain't got to worry about law enforcement and the courts. I'm handling that. And I'll be Rodney Hinton in a orange jumpsuit, mean mugging every police officer I can. Because we can't fall for the okie doke, fellas. Yes. A lot of Mexicans I've met are just as dark as us. They are, because, guys, you know what? We were here first. People of African descent, not necessarily from the continent of Africa, because we were already here. We were in the Americas. We were all up and down the Americas. Black indigenous people. That's why there are Mexicans that look like us, because they got our blood. That's what it is. Yes. Not the first. Yes, that's correct. Racist. L84, I'm not going to put that on screen, but I agree with you. Totally, I agree with you. Another great example of model minority. What do you mean, model minority? What's that mean? Coastal Man Swift 4145. It's strong here. Well, y'all are coming strong today. Oh my goodness. America has this way of painting an entire group of deeds of the few. On top of that, they publicize the division and tribalism. I love y'all. Y'all got me going today. Oh, y'all got me going today. This is good. Hold on. Let me keep going. Let's see here. Okay. All right, Emmanuel, I come from a rather diverse background, which is great. But like Obama, the skin tone still isn't light enough. Anything that isn't pure Caucasian is insufficient now in this Trump era. Well, here's what I'll say, Emmanuel. And this is what I really, it ties into the topic, but it's adjacent, okay? But hear me out. Did you guys know that during the Depression era, the early 30s, when the whole country was in a depression, do you know there were some black people in Gary, Indiana that started a group economic movement? Do you know they created their own bank? Then they created their own grocery stores. Then they took those grocery stores regionally. So they had some in Indiana. They had a couple in Illinois during the Depression. And what this is called, fellas, is a parallel society. That's what I'm getting at. If you're going to stay in the United States, black people, create parallel societies. Start taking your money and using it with others that look like you, that think the same way that you do. We're not going to get all black Americans on the same page. It's impossible to get 45 to 50 million people on the same page. But that small group of gentlemen and women in Gary, Indiana, did something totally flipped of the larger economy. The larger economy was going through one of the worst situations the United States has ever gone through. And yet this parallel economy was thriving. We don't need to pay attention to Trump. We don't need to pay attention to any of that crap. First off, we need to get every black American a gun owner, because that's the game in the States, guys. The game in the States is money and protection. That's it. It's money and protection. That's what it is. It's not voting. It's not politics. It's money and protection. Does your money circulate in your neighborhoods to solve the problems that you have? Do you have enough protection that when law enforcement tries to come after you, you can protect yourself? Or when vigilante groups, who were probably law enforcement that took their badges off back in the early 1900s, when all these race riots and burning these black cities occurred, I'm sure there was law enforcement involved. It's money and protection, guys. Everything else pales in comparison. Sorry, not sorry. My bloodline is from Mali. I can never go back to Mali. Got to America by the way of the Muslim slave trade. Okay. Is Mali a part of the Sahel region right now? Isn't Mali a part of the Sahel region? Or Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali? Yeah. I think, GZ, you may want to look at that again now. Because you know what they're doing? First, they kicked the French out, right? And it wasn't a democracy, guys. The reason Africa's turning over is because of military leadership. It like Senegal's got a really powerful brother in there, and he came through politics. But the Sahel region leaders, these are military cats because they understand that you need money and you need security to be sovereign. Okay? I don't know that you can't go back to Mali soon, GZ, because they are doing a great job of securing that region. They still get attacks from insurgents who are paid by the UAE and them folks who are foreigners in the land that they call home. They support these insurgents because they need to keep that region unstable. France supports these insurgent groups because they got kicked out, and now France is a third world country. Go look at France right now, guys. Go look at news reports of France and what's going on in France right now. They're a third world country because they can't pillage and rob Africa any longer, right? So you may want to check out Mali. That might be I'm definitely going. I'm gonna give them another year or two to see if they can really, really stabilize these things. I'm going because I want to see it. Adolf Hitler said that this about the U.S. The Americans have stolen God's jewelry. So when God wants to get nice, he puts us on to shine. That's all right. I like that. Okay, L8494 is in Texas. The public school system doubles down on educating the Mexican children by allowing them to be taught in Spanish, then in English to reinforce the information. I'm good with that. I don't see, here's the problem. When you have bigots running your country, when you have child molesters and the EpiPen class running your country, they're nervous about everything that doesn't support them. They can't support anything that doesn't support them. Why wouldn't you want Mexican children to learn Spanish and English? Okay, so you get maybe, okay, I'll give you a great example. India, the country of India right now is going through crazy climate change situations to where you're going to start seeing a lot of people have to leave the country of India. It's just too hot right now. The temperatures are 118, 120, and they've got a heat dome. Go check out India. It's a heat dome. These people are going to start leaving. You can't live under those conditions. And with this El Nino kicking up, the El Nino hasn't even kicked in yet. Once that kicks in, it's going to exacerbate or exaggerate all of this stuff. So if India people are leaving their country because they're climate refugees, and you find Indian children in Mexico or in Colombia or Panama, and you have the ability to help these children learn whatever their language is, in addition to Spanish or Portuguese or whatever, why wouldn't you do that? I don't understand. Yes, MTR. That was the content brother that I was talking about. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Man, Rashid, you the best, brother. Thank you, man. You are the best. Coastal Man Swift 4145. Man, y'all are so good today. It's a complete 180 when you go to Asian countries versus Asian stores in America. The Mexican people act completely different in the United States than they do when they're in Mexico. Same phenomenon. But what's the common occurrence? What is the common denominator in that scenario? Asian countries will treat you 180 degrees differently than Asian stores in the United States. And the Mexican city council leader in Los Angeles, who's a bigot, a racist, right? She wouldn't be spewing that stuff down here because ain't nobody gonna listen. In Mexico, don't nobody care if you calling folks the N-word. So they don't care, right? But it's that proximity to whiteness. I'm telling y'all guys, that proximity to whiteness has a lot of people around the world really screwed up. And that's the vice grip that is the United States. You think you're going to the land of opportunity. No, 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 no. There is opportunity to make money. There is that. But America is a vice grip. And you're going to get squeezed one way or the other. You're going to squeeze towards whiteness or you're going to squeeze away from whiteness. You can't be in the middle. There is no middle ground in the United States. Okay? Great points, guys. You guys are killing it today. All right. Plain Man 9887. Even in America, I've lost count of how many times I've been called, from racist whites, but no Mexican has ever called me that. I'm looking forward to living in South American places. Plain Man, you're spot on. And guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I think. From my experience, from my Mexican teacher, from my Spanish teacher, who is from San Luis Potosi, which is north of Mexico City, who swears his family's got African lineage. He swears by it. To Marco Gamboa, my good friend, and his wife is Stefania. They act more similar to Black Americans than they do to white Americans. Their behavior, their mannerisms, how they have nonverbal communication. They can look at each other and kind of understand what each other. They're very similar to us, guys. And so you're going to find when you leave the United States that you will get the occasional racist, like I did on Sunday, who he hit it for the first couple of times that he waited on me, but then it eventually came out. So you'll have those experiences. But they'll be so few and far between that you'll be able to handle them the way that I was able to handle this particular situation. Okay? All right. Let's see. Oh, Emmanuel's a new member? Right on, brother. Right on, Emmanuel. Welcome to Next Chapter Forward, brother. You're a free agent now. We call members of our community free agents. And free agents is basically a basketball sports term, but what it implies is that you have lived up to the agreements of the contract that have just been completed. So you're more valuable now. You have more options now, and you're sovereign. You can be sovereign. That's what a free agent is in the Next Chapter Forward community. You guys are sovereign Black people, Black men, who are seeking your freedom outside of the United States. What civil rights activists, lawyers will be against human rights being violated? What civil rights activist lawyers were against human rights being violated? I'm not understanding that question, partner. I'm sorry. Just discovering some great. Hey, Shannon. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Shannon. Free agent. Okay, let me explain something to you. In Las Vegas, you have air conditioning every place you go. It's not like that in India. India doesn't have places where people go and just throw freaking money away to drown their sorrows of living in the United States. That's what Vegas is. Vegas was created out of the middle of the desert as an entertainment center. So to try to compare Vegas to India, I believe is a little insulting to the people in India. Um, 123 degrees in Vegas feels a lot different than 123 degrees in a place that has any humidity, which Vegas doesn't. Okay. So in the next chapter 4 community, we're not quick to criticize other people outside of bigots. We criticize bigots all the time, criticize the EpiPen people all the time. But everyone else, we want to have a compassionate heart towards them. Okay? That's what next chapter forward is. We're strong black men. But the strongest human beings on the planet are the ones that have compassion for others. That's who we are. Okay, we don't give up our humanity, talking ish on different places and things. We don't do that. Okay? Once people from other countries cross into the United States, that Trump Western style ideology kicks in. Guys, do you know that there have been my college teammate, Andy Petty from Warri, Nigeria, love him to death. Do you know he told me what immigration tells them? Every immigrant that comes to the United States is told a huge set of lies. They tell immigrants, stay away from Black Americans. They'll get you caught up. They'll damage your immigration status. They tell them all kinds of lies, right? So it's not just the Trump Western style ideology kicks in. That's not only it. They're instructed as they're trying to become U.S. citizens or trying to come to the U.S. to do business or whatever. They're instructed to hate us. They're instructed not to trust us. So it's not just the ideology, it's the system too. Hey, Fernando Saldivar. Fernando Saldivar. Hey, man, welcome, brother. Thank you. See, because I hope you're learning a lot, but I want to learn from you as well, right? I want to learn from all of you as well. Next chapter forward, again, we lead with black men over 50. But anybody that's on this righteous path, because we're on a righteous path. We're not out to we don't hurt nobody. We're not desecrating anything. I'm in the business to provide options for people that may feel that they can live a better life in a different location. That is the crux of what we do. And so, like our Caucasian brother, wait a minute, who tuned in from Dayton, Ohio. I'm trying to pull up his name again. Where are you? Oh, okay. Like our Caucasian brother, Donnie Mullums. Now we got a representative from our Mexican family, Fernando. So Fernando, welcome, man. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for commenting. It means a lot. I hope that you consider subscribing. And, man, if you got something that you want to share with me that you think would help my situation and other black men and black people who are coming to Mexico, hey, let's talk, bro. I'm trying to be down with everybody who's on the same page, if you know what I mean. So welcome. And hey, man. Oh, hold on, Fernando. hold on. Check this out. I'm a big football fan, soccer fan, right? So the other day when we were at this bar that I go watch the NBA games at, all the staff had on the Mexican national soccer football jerseys. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go get mine. Hold on. So they had green, but look, this is the one I got. Man, that thing is sharp. So the popular one, and this is I think this is an older. This is like a couple World Cups ago, but this was their jersey, right? And so the one this year is green. It's got a really nice design on it, but I really like this one. So Fernando, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I was watching the friendly that it was out in Pasadena, the friendly versus Mexico and Australia. My ex-wife and my son were there. They went to the friendly match. So me and my son we rocking these Mexico jerseys throughout the World Cup. So good luck to Mexico. Good luck to Senegal. Capo Verde, which is their first time ever in the World Cup. What's the other one? Screw Morocco. Screw Morocco. And Morocco is dangerous, bro. Morocco could actually they could advance deep into this tournament. But the way that Senegalese team was treated in that African championship, and the fact that the freaking African Federation stripped Senegal because they walked off the pitch on protest. Don't get me started, bro. Y'all see that I'm into this. I'm a football fan. I've been that way for years. Black Chewy 8435. Okay, so let me ask you something. You're okay with black people being killed? You okay with black people being unalive via hanging? You okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. I'm not. Every time a black person is unalived in this fashion, my heart rips. And I mean, it messes me up for a minute. Okay? It really messes me up. So it's not the characteristics of the oppressors. It's called freedom. It's called sovereignty. It's called protecting your own. Remember, guys, I go back to this. It's money and it's protection. This is why I think black people struggle in the United States so much, because we don't understand this. It ain't got nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with voting. Because if it did, the Indian group would not be the highest per capita group in the United States. If it did, it wouldn't. There's an Asian population that wouldn't be the second highest earning group in the United States. They don't vote like that. They don't get all crazy into politics and all that stuff. They do locally. But nationally, they don't get into all that mess. So it's not the characteristics of oppressors. I'm about protecting mine. If I got to kill to protect mine, then that's what it is. I don't understand what that is. I don't know why we get, and I'm not Black Chew. All due respect, brother. If you are, brother, all due respect. Right? But I'm not, I'm not for that. For me, there's a huge difference between being crabs in a barrel versus crabs in the ocean. Free is free. Trapped is trapped. Change your environment, save your life. Man, if I could drop this mic and I didn't think it would break, I'd drop the mic right now. David Newman, cooking with fish grease right now, baby. I'm telling you. Oh, Fernando, my dad was a college professor and educator, and education and reading, history, things like that. That's important to me. I'm a voracious reader and voracious seeker of proper information. I don't always get it right, but I try to research because I used to be a college basketball analyst on national television. Every network that covers basketball, I've worked with them. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox Sports, Big Ten Network, ESPN, all of them. I've worked with all of them. When you go on national television and you're representing a national network, you can't, if you're wrong with your facts, you'll get fired. And so I bring that same research to what I'm doing here in the next chapter forward. But thank you for that. It was a reference to your early comment on not disparaging others. Oh. My bad, Black Chewy. My apologies. Please accept my apologies. Thank you for clearing that up. All right. So, guys, if this stuff, if this is sounding really good to you, hit the comment section. Type free throw 15. If you want to get on a free 15-minute phone call with me, I listen to what your scenario is. I pre-qualify you with the questions before we get on the call, and we get on the call. We figure it out, and then I can offer solutions moving forward, or I'll just offer you advice, and we're going about our business. It will add you to the mailing list, and I try to send out about 3 or 4 emails a week. And the community is growing, guys. It's growing, and I want you to be a part of it. So if that interests you, type free throw 15 in the comments, or go to my link in the bio, get your global scouting report. Free. 8 minutes, and sometimes it doesn't even take 2 minutes. I just say 2 minutes. Usually doesn't take that long. You get a score of your readiness to relocate out of the United States. I hope this has been helpful. You guys have been wonderful. To Rashid James, you know you're the first person that's paid me on a live. I so appreciate you. Thank you, because I do put some effort and time into these, and I'm putting effort and time into growing this community. We've got a Mexican brother on here. We've got a Caucasian brother on here today that were great contributors to the conversation. So I think we're going in the right direction. I hope you guys want to continue on this journey with me as we expand our network around the world. And we seek to help out people who want to live a better life. Okay? So thank you, Rashid James. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Max Gelbrith, new tribe member, my man. Emmanuel, thank you. MY Blue, has. Shannon Covington, Plain Man, Fernando. I love it. I love saying his name. Fernando Saldivar. Fernando Saldivar. Am I saying that right, Fernando? Black Chewy. Thank you, Black Chewy. Appreciate you. David Newman, I'll see you soon, brother. Who else am I missing? Oh, Eld 8494. Cooking, baby. Christopher Torres, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are so much appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Guys, have a great rest of your week. And until next time, holla, y'all.